what was it like working with 50 Cent?
You know, he'll just give me a little game, little anecdote, if you will, about something that may be similar happened to him or one of his boys when he was younger, and it definitely adds, you know, a little more flavor to the pot.
Hi, Courtney. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. First, I want to say that I'm already hooked on this new book 3. Right off the bat, it felt like there was a different atmosphere than the first 2. It feels more gritty. It feels more raw. First question is, can you describe what was done differently with crafting the story and how Raising Kanan will differ from the first 2 books?
Well, Raising Kanan is different from the first 2 books in a way because it's the first time we really have what I would call like IP, which is we have intellectual property that we have to use. We have to respect the original Kanan, the original jukebox, right? We have to look at them and then chart out kind of an arc for them over their lifetime, which is a new and exciting challenge. You know, I'm always looking for a new challenge, and I think that's part of what this was. A lot of people were looking for a prequel, but they wanted like Ghost and Tommy as kids. And I was like, that's not that interesting because we know they both live. Where are the stakes going to be? And if you introduce any other characters, you also know those characters are going to die because they weren't around in book 1. So there's nothing to play with there. Whereas with this, there was so much to play with. And also because Kanan is older than Ghost and Tommy, we were able to really investigate what 50 calls the golden era of drug dealing in that space and at that time.
Definitely. And I think, you know, one thing that stood out to me with Kanan is that he's not as street smart that, you know, we see in the later, in the later series, or I guess the earlier series? First, I don't know, you know, the time travel.
The first book? Book 1? It's the later series, right? It's the first series, but it's the later series, totally. You were right. You were right.
But, you know, when we see that character, he's already 3 steps ahead of people. He's already playing the game. He's already really cerebral. But with this character, you know, he's not necessarily in the driver's wheel just yet. So what else can we expect from Kanan as an adolescent, as a child, as he's starting to learn how to grow and play the game?
Well, we can definitely expect Kanan to make mistakes and then move forward, have big leaps and then big moves back. We can expect him to have kind of a construction, you know, we're going to put together different elements, almost a recipe really of like trauma and successes, wins, losses, grief, love, romance. That's going to all go in there to create the person that we grew to know and love.
What are you most excited about for the fans to see with this new book?
Wow, the performances. I mean, Haley, Mackay, Patina, London, Malcolm, I think those performances. Oh my God, Joey Badass. I mean, Toby. There's phenomenal performances. Annabelle, who plays Nicole. I mean, they're just phenomenal performances in this show. That's what I'm really excited about.
First day back at school since all that went down. It's gonna still be hot out there. You need to watch yourself.
I've been hearing that maybe you and your friends had a beef with Buck.
Don't listen to that. It's just not real.
Only one king can rule the kingdom, Nick. Betting on you.
You know what time it is. Streets in the body.
The writing is unbelievable. You know, Sasha's an incredible writer, but I have to say what I'm really excited about is people seeing Patina Miller holding it down. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yes. I agree wholeheartedly. The performances all knocked it out of the park. Everyone was stellar. Great first 2 episodes. So that's all the time I had with you. Courtney, thank you so much. You're awesome. I love your work. And until next time, take care.
Bye, Kwam.
Let's jump right into it because I know we don't have a lot of time. So obviously, I saw some of the new series and I was absolutely hooked. Patina, your character Raquel, she is such a savage. I love it. She's like low-key always on demon time, but she's like so, you know, cerebral. So my first question is, what was it like portraying such a pragmatic character, but such a ruthless character at the same time?
I love this character more than anything. I jumped at the opportunity to be able to play a woman like Raquel. You know, it's not often that you get to play a woman who looks like me and to have a 3-dimensional life. And for me, that really spoke to me, to be able to play Raquel in all different parts of who she is, and not just the strong, not just the diva, not just the boss, but also be able to show her as a loving mother, a mother who was willing to go to the end of the world for her son.
And can you describe that relationship just a little bit more? Because like you said, it was something that really stood out. She was really, she's ruthless, she's savage, but you see that loving side of her as well.
Yeah, which I think is wonderful. I think it makes her more interesting. I think it humanizes her as well. You know, she's not just this cold, hard woman. To the outside, it may look like that, but what interested me was finding her heart and really making her a fully fleshed out character. She loves her son more than anything. He is a 15-year-old boy who is curious. He's not as naive as he used to be. He thinks he's a man. And now he's into her business that she's really worked as hard just raising him. She's worked just as hard to build what she has now, to build the respect, all of the things that she had. So now she has to battle between the two, and she has to get her son straight, but also keep her business straight.
I'm excited to see that relationship evolve. Omar, okay, legend. We saw Detective Howard, but not too much was revealed, but we could tell that he was someone who was out for himself and he had his own, ulterior motives. Can you describe the character and how he will impact the series?
Detective Howard is, I call him an octopus. He's got tentacles everywhere, and he's sort of the central character, if you will, because he can affect every other character and every other storyline. And but he's what's interesting about playing him is even though the series takes place in the 90s, he's not from that era. Like, he's the old head in the series, so he comes from a time when they used to, you just used to knock heads and things were different. So he's sort of learning on the go as the series is progressing. But he's out for himself. At the end of the day, he's a selfish dude. And, but things will happen to him that take his power, if you will, away from him. And he'll be trying to grasp that back.
Okay, so would you describe him as the Black Sax or more of a Mangelina? Black Sax as in he's out again, like out for himself, or is he, kind of just dealing with the circumstances that he was given?
It's a little bit of both, to be honest with you. He's right in the middle of that. So he's out for himself, but circumstances change that are beyond one's control, and he has to figure out how to navigate that new space. But like I said, he's like entrenched in the neighborhood. He's in law enforcement. He's dealing with all of that stuff. But he's a pretty dark dude, to be honest with you.
I can tell already, and I'm excited to see more of that character. And wish you both the best of luck. Hopefully,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
What's going on, Makai? How are you doing today, bro?
I'm chilling, bro. How you feeling, Kwam? What's good with you?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Okay, I love that jacket, by the way. Had to say that
Thank
in
you,
there.
man.
Okay. One thing that stood out to me about Kanan, your character, is that how he's different from the portrayal that we've seen in the earlier series, but later in the timeline.
Yeah, but later in the
you feel me? But yeah, he's not as street smart. You see him, he makes mistakes. He does things that we're not, accustomed to seeing Kanan the adult doing. So what else can we expect to see from Kanan as an adolescent? How does he differ from Kanan that we see in the first book?
I mean, well, damn, you hit it on the head, Kwam, honestly, bro. Like, it's with this story and where we find Kanan when we pick up with him, you're going to find a young kid, literally a kid who doesn't know anything. He has the natural instinct and the raw, grit to do it. But like you said, he's not street smart. He doesn't have the wisdom to notice and to gauge before he acts. A lot of what he does is based strictly off emotion. Which is, it's one of the beautiful detriments of him. It's like everything he does, it's revolved around trying to protect his mother and his family. That's his driving goal. That's his end all be all. And ultimately that's everybody's goal in the show, I feel like, is trying to protect one another, trying to protect this family dynamic that's happening. Whether it be, Lulu, Marvin, whether it be Rock, Jukebox, Kanan, whatever, they all have these, they all want to protect each other, but they all have different ways and means of trying to do so. And, like you said, Kanan's lack of street smartness is his version of him trying to show his love and loyalty to his mother. When Rock's argument for that is, you can be here and protect me, but you don't have to be here and protect me. She wants him to, explore outside of this world and, that's another one of the like underlying themes I feel like for the show is, identity and influence, environment, which is something, I like I said, his whole family is involved in this. So Kanan thinks that's what he should be doing. That's where he should be when Rock is saying, no, there's something so much more outside of this, but he doesn't want to hear that. He just wants to be there for his family, and he thinks being inside this game with them getting dirty is the only way to.
Yeah, man, you answered like 4 of my questions I had. I would not have been able to ask you, so you're killing it right now, bro.
That's dope. So that means we got even more time. We got more time for more vibes. We like this.
Okay, bro. So what was it like working with 50 Cent? How did he influence your portrayal of the role?
Honestly, I haven't had too many person-to-person run-ins with him lately because 1, the COVID shut down, and then 2, he's out here producing like 27,000 shows at one time. Being the mogul he is or whatever. But the times I have run into him, and he's been on set or whatever, he's watching scenes, and he'll watch and he'll pull me aside if he sees something. He's like, he'll just give me a little game, little anecdote, if you will, about something that may be similar happened to him or one of his boys when he was younger, and it informs my choices and kind of the demeanor I have in the scene a little more. Just to have that actual first person encounter right there at that time. It definitely adds a little more flavor to the pot.
All right, thank you, Makai, man. Thank you for your time, man. Until next time, brother. What's going on, Joey?
Peace, Kwam. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. So first, let me say I'm a big fan of your music. Back in 2012 when I was listening to 1999, I would never imagine that you would become such a solid actor. And looking at raising Kanan, specifically, your character Unique is young and flashy, but he appears to know how to play the game right. So can you give me some more insight into the character?
Yeah, I mean, Unique is one of those just classic charismatic street dudes. He's been involved in this life for as long as he could remember. So, even though he's young, he's kind of like a young vet. You know what I mean? He's been around. He's played the game a couple of years. He got an older brother who he kind of learned the game from. And yeah.
Trust. I think that definitely comes through. It feels like you said, he's like a young vet. Like he doesn't want an all-out war. He's willing to compromise, but at the same time, he's ruthless. Like he doesn't take any kind of disrespect, and if you do, there will be consequences. What was it like to play that character with that level of duality?
It was a very interesting experience. I want to say this role was probably my most flexible role to date. Like I was able to, go places and stretch beyond, what I've been used to. I was able to play with this character in a way that was really unique and interesting. And I look forward to seeing that all translate on screen.
Trust. So what do you want fans to take away from your character?
If it's anything I want fans to take away from my character, it's just the lessons that he displays, whether it be conscious or subconsciously, when it comes to the laws of like bungling power. You know what I'm saying?
And so, one thing I really love about Unique, he got that drip. You know what I'm saying? Like the outfits he was wearing, I was like, oh, okay, I need that tracksuit. Okay, was that your inspiration? Because I know you a little bit of a fashionista yourself, or was that the costume design?
That was all costume design. You know what I mean? That I got to give it to the Power Universe. They nailed this. They nailed everything, every detail. Just with it being a period piece, it being a 90s era show, they nailed it, from the outfits to just the set, backgrounds and wardrobes, extras, the cars, they nailed it, you know what I mean? That was all done. For me, it's just, it's all about who putting it on though at the end of the day.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all I did. I just put it together. That was it.
Nah, you definitely had that confidence coming through. You had the grills. I was like, I need to get me a pair of those, man.
Yeah.
The top fronts, those. That was hard. Yeah. What are you most excited for the fans to see in this new series?
I'm most excited for the fans to see the way this whole story unfolds. This show, if I had to put it in one word, it's epic. It's like every episode, it just gives you these different epic moments. And me is just a TV head. Like I like watching TV. I like watching shows. I'm really excited about just sitting down and watching this show, you know. So
Nah, trust, man. When I was watching those first few episodes, it gave me chills. You know, it was gritty, it was raw, and I was like, "Ooh, this feels a little bit different than some of the last two books." So I'm really excited to see where it goes, and really excited to see where your character, unfolds. But thank you for your time, my man. Let me first say what I love about the Thomas family characters is they actually feel like a family. You guys can answer as you wish, but can y'all describe what it was like working with each other? How did you guys build such great chemistry?
I think the incredible thing about this family unit is that one, I know at least from my process, I didn't meet any of these guys before we actually got on set. And so usually beforehand, sometimes they give you a chemistry test and you get to kind of gel and connect with the other actors and actresses. But with this one, what makes it special is that we didn't really get a chance to do the hangout beforehand and build. So all of the building and the connection that I think people are going to get on screen actually was great because it was happening off screen. It was just a natural connection. And I think it's because everyone approached the project very professional without any egos. And so being on the set with no egos definitely just sets us all up to jump right into a family type of environment.
Definitely. I think that really shows through, on screen. It feels like y'all are real like close-knit family, that y'all have a love for each other, even though you're also different. Like Marvin, he's not like the sharpest tack in the box, but Lulu, he's like, a little more cerebral, a little more low-key savage. Speaking of Lulu, can you give some more details about how Lulu and how he will come to play in the overall story? Because like I said, he's got this mysterious side to him. I couldn't really put my thumb on it. So can you give us a little bit more detail?
Absolutely not. Courtney Kemp employs me, and I want to stay employed. So I'm sorry. No. This is what I'm allowed to give you. Lulu is in transition. Lulu is good at his job, as you say. He's a low-key savage, so he is perfectly equipped to handle what it is he's being tasked with. But he doesn't want to do it no more. So get ready to see the established character of Cool that you see kind of unravel a little bit and see that Cool tested amongst a lot of heat coming forward. And also to the question about family and how we gelled together, I hated them. I don't like them. I don't want to be here. I'm just kidding. No, they're awesome, man. We love each other. And I wanted to go back to it because we are such a family on and off screen.
It was great, being able to talk to y'all. So thank you. And until next time, take care.
The streets don't play, Kanan. That's what I keep trying to tell you. But you don't want to hear me, though.
Come on, man. This is my story. This is the Southside Jamaica Queen story. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
You said you was gonna get me involved.
You pull that trigger, you in it.
You can't afford the war right now, Rock.
I ain't getting on my knees, Nick. Not for you or no man.
Still in training. Time to put them reps in.
Let's do this.
I'm gonna take this city, bitty world by storm, and I'm just getting warm. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out.
You wanted to be in it? You in it.